Hey, besties, and welcome to the official first episode of That Homeschool Mama. Now, before we get into today's episode, I want to set some things straight. Please understand that I am putting a lot of information out there. I'm putting my kids out there. This is social media. And I share our homeschool journey because I did not realize how many people actually enjoyed seeing other parents or other homeschool moms. I did not realize it was something that was like really becoming popular, and people tend to have a lot of questions. I can't answer everything at one time. I know I have like new subscribers that come in after a while, and some things that they may have asked, I have already talked about in a previous video. So with that being said, disrespect will not be tolerated here. I know everyone may not agree with what I do, how I homeschool, things like that. We are all different for a reason, and that's okay. And constructive criticism is allowed here, but disrespect is not, because at the end of the day, these are my children, and that's one thing I do not play about. And I know what type of mother I am. So if you don't have anything nice to say, just exit, because I won't tolerate it. This is a podcast for moms who are homeschooling and may still feel lost, or people who are other parents who are thinking about homeschooling. Also, keep in mind that we are in Texas, so some things that y'all may see me do or that we're allowed to do, you may not be able to do in your state. So just keep that in the back of your mind as well. So on this podcast, we will talk about the wins, the struggles, the good days, the bad days, the days we want to be like, you know what, I'm just about to send you to public school and let them teachers deal with it. We're going to talk about it all here. And this is a no judgment zone. We are not here to judge anybody, because none of us have great days every day. We are human. We are not perfect. If I see you in the comment section judging me, judging another mom or whatever, you will get blocked. I don't argue with people. Not here for that. Don't have time for that. So, with that being said, again, welcome to episode 1 of That Homeschool Mama. So, I have some questions written down here that y'all have asked. So, let me just start with, who am I? Who is this lady that's on your screen? So, my name is Kristen. I am a mom of 3 children. I'm a wife. I work full time. Yes, I work full time. And I'm a full-time grad student. I have a bachelor's in psychology, and I'm currently working on my master's in um, behavioral analysis, which I'll be done with next year. I'm 31. Did I say that already? I can't even remember, y'all. This is my first podcast, so if y'all got any pointers for me, let me know. I need all the pointers I can get. Anywho, my kids are 3, 5, and Callie will be 7 on Tuesday. So I have pre-K 3, kinder, and second grade. And let me just tell y'all, second grade, I already see this gonna be a year. So we used to homeschool Monday through Thursday. After looking at the second grade curriculum for this year, we're actually going to be homeschooling Monday through Friday. Why? Why? So, as we all know, the older they get, the more intensified the curriculum gets. And I feel like we're going to need 5 days instead of 4, only because I don't want to cram everything into those 4 days and feel like we're rushing. I don't want to stress her or anything like that. So we're doing 5 days. What state do we live in? I said at the beginning, we live in Texas. What made me homeschool? So it's a lot of different things that made me homeschool. My kids have never been to daycare. They have never been to public school. So they have been with me from birth. And like I said, my oldest will be 7 on Tuesday. Working in some of the environments that I have worked in, some of the experiences that I have, some of the memories that I have being a child in elementary, and some of the things that I have witnessed and that I'm still witnessing, even while doing my intern for behavioral analysis, seeing some things in the school settings. I'm just like, you know what? I think we're going to start off homeschooling now. I know I cannot protect my kids from every single thing, and I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to, because they do have to get their own experiences. They have to fail on their own and develop their own experiences. But when it comes to certain questions, things like sexual abuse, things that kids really should not be exposed to early on in elementary, cool. They can stay home with me. We'll learn here. And once their mind matures enough to understand what sexual abuse is or what it looks like, or not being afraid to come and tell me, or not being influenced so much by their environment. I know that may still happen when they get to middle school or high school, but I don't know if you guys know, but the first 5 years of a child's life is the most important. It sets the tone. Believe it or not, you don't have to believe it, but it truly sets the tone. What was my biggest fear homeschooling? So my biggest fear homeschooling was, dang, how do I know if I'm teaching her grade level appropriate stuff? How do I know if she's behind or not? So that was one of my concerns. Um, when I came across TPT, which is Teachers Pay Teachers, that was the best thing I could have ever come across. And it's funny because a retired teacher is the one who actually told me about TPT. I met her in a grocery store one day, and she was saying how beautiful the kids were, and she was asking, when do they start school? And so I was like, oh, they're homeschooled. So that's when we got on the conversation of homeschool, and she told me about TPT, and I have been using TPT ever since then. It is amazing. If you are a homeschool mom and you're struggling on what curriculum to use, or if you're teaching the right thing, go to TPT. TPT has a full year of curriculum. Make sure you filter your search to free. You don't have to pay for anything if you don't have the money to filter it to free. They have worksheets to go along with their curriculum. It's amazing. It's like 1,000 out of 10. I highly recommend it, especially if you're a mom who's thinking about homeschooling. Go ahead and go look at the curriculum and see if it's something you feel like you can handle. I love it. I love it. Another thing, someone said that I make it look so easy. I do. I do. A little of my background. I am the oldest. I've watched everybody kids. When I say I don't watch everybody kids, I don't. All my little baby cousins in the family, I watch them. I change their pampers. I watch everybody kids. So being a mom and tolerating kids, baby, I've been doing it. Been doing it. So when I had my own kids, I always knew one day that I was going to be a mom. I wanted to be a mom. It came naturally to me. You know how they say some people have those motherly instincts. That's me, and I feel like that with other people's kids too. They just naturally gravitate to me. A while back, I did want to be a teacher, but yeah, I think teaching my own kids right now is I'm cool. I'm cool with it. Have I second guessed homeschooling? Most definitely. I have those days every now and then. Matter of fact, I had one of those days last week, which was our first week of homeschooling. I'm like, yo, like this curriculum. Then I have my kinder, my pre-K 3. I don't worry about him as much because it's just colors, shapes, ABCs. But now I have kinder in second grade, and I have this curriculum, and it's two different curriculums. And in the morning time, we may be doing reading, but they have two different reading curriculums. So we don't use a program. I teach the curriculum myself. So the second day of school, I was helping Callie with something, and Kaylee was like pulling on my shoulder. She was like, I need help, I need help. I was like, okay, give me a minute. Let me finish helping Callie, and then I could come help you. But she was getting like so impatient because she wanted to finish her work so she could go play. So that's when I had to reiterate the rules and lay down some rules and let them know this year is going to look a little different than the last year, because last year Kaylee was in pre-K 4 and Callie was in first grade. So I worked more with Callie than Kaylee. So I'm like, this year it's going to be different. It's not going to be like that. You're going to have to wait your turn. Now, I do like with TPT, it is, I use Little Minds curriculum. Little Minds curriculum, there is one section, and I want to say it's the science and social studies, I think. I can't remember. And I should be able to remember because I've looked at this curriculum like 30 times. But where second grade and kinder, they have the same curriculum on that part. So when we get to that part, I'm able to teach both of them at the same time. So with that being said, how do I teach my curriculum and work at the same time? Now, when I first started homeschooling, I was very open about that. I'm no longer open about that only because I had a weird person on my page do some weird stuff. And at the end of the day, that's my job and how I feed my kids, and I won't play about that. So all I'm gonna say is do what works best for you. If you have a job that's flexible that allows you to do that, great. Keep that job. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Just know that I am able to manage it and do it. My planner. A lot of you guys asked where I got this planner from. I got this planner from Hobby Lobby. So let me just show you guys a sample of our curriculum. This will be for week 2. As you can see, Monday we will be in school. Tuesday we will not be in school because it's Callie's birthday. Actually, Monday afternoon right after school, we will be leaving for her birthday. So the first part of the morning is reading, phonics, writing, and grammar. We always start off with our good morning song, and then we go into whatever book they're reading that week. If you're following the TPT schedule that I posted for second grade and kinder, we're doing Wimberley and Rainbow Fish. After that, we go into our sounds and sentences, which is the phonics section. Then we go into writing. Callie is doing pre-assessment writing as well as handwriting. Kaylee is focusing on illustration and what's the difference between an illustrator and an author. Right after that, we're going to grammar. Now, the grammar part I am able to do together with them because it includes nouns and verbs. Nouns, people is what we're focusing on next week. Verbs, intro is what we're focusing on. So you can see it there. I have K and 2 second for their grades. And then following that, we move on to math, then science and art, then after that, history. So, like I said, this did come from TPT. I can also keep track of their attendance. And then I have already put in here our field trips that we are going to have for the year. We're not going to go on all of these field trips, but I just put a few that I think will be great. And then Once we get to the week of the field trip, we'll figure out where we're going. Uniforms. Yes, my kids wear uniforms. Why do my kids wear uniforms? Because they're my kids. Nah, but no, seriously, because they're my kids. So, when we started homeschooling, some days we would just be in our pajamas, and it was cool because they were toddlers back then, you know. Now we're getting older. Callie's about to be 7. Kaylee is 5, and I want them to get into the routine of getting up every morning and looking their best. No matter what we have to do, no matter if we don't have to do anything, we're gonna get up, brush our teeth, wash our face, put on some clothes, and make up that bed. We're gonna do that every single morning, no matter what. Why did I choose uniforms? One, uniforms were the cheapest, and I didn't want them wearing the clothes that they wear on any regular day. And then I feel like uniforms is like more neat, preppy, cute. Not only that, for my girls, I feel like it's important to teach them hygiene and self-esteem as well. So that's another reason that I chose uniforms. They love it. I love it. We ain't gotta worry about, hey, I what no. Just throw the uniform on and let's keep it pushing. I do the same thing for my 3-year-old, which sometimes I feel bad because I'm like, when they were 3, I didn't make them do this, but and he's a boy, so let's just go and get on it now. So that is one of the reasons I chose uniforms. ID badges. So I had somebody try to argue me down about ID badges. So she tried to say that nowhere requires you to have an ID badge if you homeschool. This is one of the ID badges. You're correct. They don't require you to have one. But when you go into these places and you're asking for teacher discounts or anything like that, which I have before, they asked me, did I have a teacher's ID? And the answer was no. So that's when one of the ladies at the store suggested that I made my own homeschool ID, and she was like, they can accept it at the store for a teacher's discount. So this year I decided to make a homeschool ID for myself as well as for my children. Now, please understand, if my kids ever have to go to public school, right now we're not anticipating it, but you just never know what'll happen. I am trying to make the transition as easy as possible for them. And I feel like what I'm doing now, teaching them to get up every morning, get dressed, turning our garage into the classroom, will help them transition easily into public school if we ever had to. We're not gonna have to fuss about, well, mommy, why can't I wear my pajamas to school? That's not gonna be an issue because right now at homeschool, we get up out of our pajamas and we get dressed. And I don't think people think about things like that, but when I do things and it includes my kids, I try to think about the long term effect or later on down the line. I also had another unpleasant person say, well, your kids aren't going to know how to socialize with other people. First of all, my kids are very close in age. So, one, they have each other. Not only that, before y'all get on this app and try to judge someone or put them down as a parent, do your research. My kids have been in gymnastics since they were toddlers. They are in dance. They did competitive cheer, t-ball, and swim. So they are very well diverse kids. And also, too, keep in mind of their ages. They're only 3, 5, and 7. So we have done a lot. Now we have recently dropped down to 2 sports. We can't continue paying for 3 sports for the girls. And then my son, we were going to continue t-ball, but I think we're just going to go back to swim, which is non-negotiable in my house. Everybody has to go and swim. So they are very, very well diverse. And then when they do join these sports, they have no problem interacting with the other kids. So I'm not sure where y'all got that or whoever got that conclusion from. But I'm going to wrap it up here. I can't give y'all everything in one video, but thank you all for supporting me. I see y'all questions. I heard y'all. Y'all asked for a Q&A. Y'all asked for a podcast. I plan on doing these at least once a week. I'm going to aim for Sundays, if not Sundays, for sure Monday. I hope this podcast becomes a place where homeschool mamas or inspiring homeschool mamas can come here, feel safe, feel heard. We can help each other out, answer any questions, and then also too for the next podcast, y'all drop down any questions or anything that y'all have in the comments so I can write those down and answer those in the next podcast. And if you enjoyed this podcast, make sure you subscribe, share with a friend or whoever. But that is it. That's all. And that is a wrap for the first episode / podcast of That Homeschool Mama. Talk to y'all later.